Hi, everyone, and welcome to our December live call for our membership group. And wow, this month has been like a crazy, crazy month of so many new energies and so many new transformations. And I know I'm doing this call really late. It was supposed to be weeks ago and I wasn't feeling well. I had to reschedule. But here we are in the December. And so today I thought, well, number one, I kind of want to talk about as we move into the next year and really one of the most important things it's going to be for each and every one of us to do as we move into the energy of the new year. So, and I know a lot of people will say, oh, it doesn't really matter about the new year, but it really kind of does, because the thing is right now we are in the frequency of a year that is the number 5. Okay. And numbers are big. I've always personally been really big into numerology. Numerology has fascinated me. I got into numerology as a teenager. I've always been really, really big into numbers. My birthday is 396. The numbers of my birthday is 396. And I am actually a number 9. And I've always been really like when I named my children, I went through numerology with them. And when I married my husband now, we actually got married on the same exact birth number date as I was born, which is a 396. And I deliberately chose that because I wanted to kind of have like I married my first husband and got divorced. I kind of told myself, I won't get married again. I won't go through this again. I won't do this again. And when I decided, 6 years later to get married again, I thought, I want this to be like, and I was in consciousness at that point. And actually, when me and my husband actually got married, we didn't technically take oaths and vows till death do you part, because I was already conscious and aware of, what an oath and a vow till death do you part did. So we actually made a contract um, to be married, to choose each other for 50 years. So we made a contract to stay together for 50 years. And at that point, we can reevaluate the contract. But essentially, I did a lot of being in consciousness and awareness. I was aware that I wanted kind of our marriage to be kind of like my rebirth, if you will. Like I was, when you get married as a woman, you change your name, right? So I wanted that to kind of be kind of a signal of a rebirth. So the whole point of me telling this story is to tell you that the numbers that we're in are very, very significant to what we're going through energetically. So as we shift from a number 5 year, which was the 2021, right, to a number 6 year, which is 2022, there is a shift in frequency and vibration. Okay. And that shift in frequency and vibration is really truly going to give us a lot of new space. Okay. This year has a number 5 year has had, and we know we've been living through it, right? There's restriction. There was a lot of deconstruction, which was very required. A lot of the bottoms fell out of a lot of the systems, which is really good. But as we move into the number 6 year, so I'm kind of just going to talk about kind of what we're going to be experiencing this next year. Okay. So as we move into this number 6 year, we're going to feel different in our bodies. And you might already be feeling that since we've had the end of the cycle, which was December 21st, 2021, when that cycle ended, and the new cycle, because we're in a new cycle. When that new cycle began, it did come with a different frequency and vibration. So you might already be feeling like a newness. There's like a lightness moving in, because we have been in that old cycle now for 9 years. So now we're moving into this new cycle. Now this is the new earth cycle. This is where the earth is going to be rebuilt. Okay, so we're going to have, just like the last 9-year cycle, we're going to have a whole new cycle where it's going to be all about rebuilding. Okay, so the cycle we just ended was all about deconstruction. And although we might be looking around and going, hey, there's a lot of things that still look the same, there's an illusion of a lot of things still looking the same, but nothing in this reality right now feels the same energetically as it did when we started this cycle 9 years ago. Nothing is the same. Now, it might appear, there might be some things where you look around and go, nope, this is the same. I guarantee you it does not feel the same, because the frequency and vibration has shifted. Even though what you're looking at might not have changed yet, it will change. Okay. This year that we're moving into, this 2022 year, now this is going to be, of this cycle, this is definitely, I should say that, this is definitely going to be the hardest year. Now, is it going to be as hard as this year? Probably not. It's probably going to have lots of notes of easier than what we have been moving through, but where you're still going to have difficulty is where you still have polarity. Okay. And we're going to talk about that today and talk about the triggers and stuff like that too. Okay. So this is where it's going to be really, really important as we move into the new year, that you understand that where you are still going to have difficulty showing up is where you still have a lot of form and structure. Okay. Now this year is going to give us a greater opportunity than we have ever had to change our life. Now, the reality is everybody's life is going to change, because regardless of if you're diving in and doing the work or not, this reality is changing, period. Okay. We're all ascending. The frequency and vibration of the planet is moving. Okay. Just like we've gone through the last 5 years or the last 9 years, the frequency and vibration of the earth is fully fifth dimensional now. Now, it does not mean we are fully fifth dimensional yet. Okay, the thing that is holding us back from being fully fifth dimensional is the form and structure that you still have stored in your field. I'm going to say that again. I want us to breathe that through for a moment. The earth is now fully fifth dimensional. Okay, it's been radiating that 5D frequency for the last 9 years. And in the radiation of that 5D frequency is what has been breaking the spout. It's what's been waking us up. It's what's been shaking us and going, hey, time to look at this, time to stop being controlled by this, time to stop allowing these old energies to hold you back and hold you down. It's time to stop living the lie that we have been living. It's time to stop living with the spell we have been under. Okay. So now the earth is fully fifth dimensional. Okay. So now the earth is saying, okay, and it's giving out these vibrations of it's time to wake up, right? And it's been giving us, and so many of us, you guys all here in the membership, you guys have been diving in, right? You have been committed to changing your life and releasing yourself from the stuff that doesn't work. And as you do that, as you release your form and structure, it's creating more space for you to show up. It's creating, because a lot of that form and structure was really limiting us, right? It was stopping us from receiving information. It was stopping us from being certain things. It was stopping us from truly living our truth. So this year, now because the earth is fully fifth dimensional, a lot of the matrix structures that we've been living in and upholding no longer are valid. Okay. Now, a lot of them still have the form and structure, and we're still looking at them because so many of us still have the programming within our being, right? We're still upholding the frequency and vibration. And as long as we are upholding the frequency and vibration, as long as it will exist within the universe. So as more and more of us release it within ourselves, and what you're probably even finding in your own life is as you release a concept or a form and structure within your own being and you are no longer functioning in it, what are you noticing? The people around you are shifting too, right? Because you become the invitation. When you are no longer triggered by something that everyone around you is triggered in, and you just have space and you become that space of allowance, it's the space of allowance that truly changes the world. It's when we can receive something, it's when you can receive something that someone is being or doing or choosing or creating without a point of view that actually allows it to change. Let's breathe that through for a moment. So this year is going to be the year that you are going to master being the receiver of energy without a point of view. This year is going to be the greatest year we have ever had available to us to release ourselves from within the form and structure that has been creating this reality. Again, because the form and structure is no longer being upheld by the earth. The earth is in a new energy space and consciousness. So all of those old matrix concepts are now only being upheld within our own beings. Now, that doesn't mean that every single person is going to have this ability to do this year, okay? Because people who are really under a lot of programming still, you may find them, and you may even see people right now who are just fighting to uphold those limitations, right? Fighting to keep those limitations in place. And this year isn't going to be, I would say, as bad, but is there still going to be people who go through this whole year still asleep? Potentially, absolutely. But those of you listening to this call, those of you who are yearning to be different, those of you who are actively diving in and choosing to release yourself from these concepts, the more you do, the more you surrender, the more you release, the more you allow, the easier it's going to be. Is there going to be people that are taking, kicking, and screaming? Absolutely. So as we move through the beginning of this year, it's going to appear as though, I would say, from about January until about mid-March is kind of what I'm sitting with the energy of, is where everything's going to kind of appear to be kind of status quo of what we have been living, but the energy is going to continue to feel different. Okay, so it's going to be really important that we're leaning into the feeling different, even though you're looking around going, oh, same crap, different day, right? And maybe there's little notes of things kind of appearing different. There might be a lot of what's going on still looking like the same, okay? But again, what we really want to be leaning into is the way that it feels different. I'm not saying everything's going to be completely the same, because things are still falling and things are still getting rearranged, but the system is going to be holding really, really tight to trying to continue to uphold it. And the thing is the system has found a way, or I should say perfected a way, to keep us asleep by keeping the polarity of right and wrong and good and bad in place, right? And I mean, we all know this. You can get on social media and you can see that, there's people triggered in this point of view and other people triggered in the opposite point of view, and people continuing to fight. That's how the system is still gaining control over us. It's within the triggers of emotional upset that it's keeping us in the energy of being asleep. Okay, so it's really important for especially from this point forward, to limit your I'm going to say your dance with people like that. If you have a lot of people on your social media that you're following, maybe family members, maybe even friends who are getting triggered and projecting wrongness a lot, either unfollow them so you can't see their posts, or block them and be done with them. Especially, you guys, if you have friends on your Facebook page that you haven't talked to in 10 years, if you have high school friends, who post things that aren't in alignment with you or make you feel like really triggered about something, let them go, unfriend them, let them go, release yourself from within the paradigm and move on with your life. I'm not saying we want to like, we want to avoid the triggers in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that if you're looking at someone's post and you're going, gosh, it's, they're living in such unconsciousness, and it really, they're really projecting at other people that, they're bad and wrong, and, it just like, it just really, just let it go. You don't need that in your life anymore. Breathe that through, even if it's family. Okay. I just finished up the Clearing the Family Crap series. It's all done in the portal there. And the last call that you guys have access to, not the last call, I'm sorry, second to last call, is about choice and possibility. And, one of the things I talk about in that call is how the family paradigm is changing. Just because you were born into a family doesn't mean that that's actually your soul tribe. That's your soul family. Now, I'm not saying that there might not be some family members that you really align with and that you really love and enjoy. Great. But there's a lot of us that were born into families that essentially just help us uphold triggers, right? And some of those people, it's going to be time to release and let go and move on. Let's breathe that through. And everything that doesn't allow that for us. And all of that, 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 everything, all of that is, can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes? And can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. Let's just breathe that through for a moment here and give us some new space. So for the first few months of the year, again, it is going to kind of appear like we're moving forward in the same energies that we have, but it's going to feel a lot different. So it's going to be really important to lean into the way that you feel. Allow yourself to be taken over by the new energies, because these new energies are going to be dancing with the body in a new way. Okay, remember, we're shifting from being a headspace receiver into shifting into being a body receiver. Okay, your body is your guide. Your body is your receiving organ. Your body is taking you to what is light and free and fun and ease. Follow it, lean into it, give it space to show up. Breathe it through. So come about mid-March, it does feel like all chaos is going to break loose, and maybe it even is going to start at the beginning of March. I'm not really sure. The 14th, for some reason, of March feels very significant. I'm not really sure exactly what's going to happen, but what it feels like for me is from about mid-March until about mid-April, we're going to be experiencing event after event after event after event. And this feels like events from all over the world. When I first started talking about back in the day, gosh, almost 20 years ago, when I first started talking about having some kind of an event that was going to change the whole world, I didn't really know what that looked like, right? And then we had the coronavirus, and look at it, affected the whole entire world. We're going to have mini events. Every single country is going to have some kind of a mini event, or potentially a big event, or potentially possibly lots of mini events. Because what's happening now is, by the time we get into about mid-March to about mid-April, is because the bottom has fallen out of enough of the systems of the matrix, basically this is going to be the fallout of the system. So we're going to see government systems basically be exposed. We're going to see just grand scale exposure of things for about a month, and potentially these are going to continue through even past that time frame. But basically, come about mid-April, nothing's going to be able to hide anymore. Everything's going to be exposed. All of the corruptness, all of this stuff that the matrix, because of the form and structure, the way that it has been able to keep secret and hidden. It's just going to be out there. And there is going to be a lot of people who are going to fight the truth still, right? Because their programming is going to keep them in that fight. It's going to be really important for us to keep our barriers down, to keep breathing through the space, to allow our beings to really receive the truth, because in us receiving the truth, even though the things that are going to be exposed are potentially going to be terrible, awful things, remember, it's the polarity to the things that actually continues to uphold them. It's when abuse is exposed and we have a point of view about abuse that actually contributes to abuse being upheld. Now, just because you don't have a point of view doesn't mean anything, like it's not bad or wrong. It's just in the receiving of the information, pulling it through, letting it go out the other side, that's actually going to allow it to be seen. Remember, when we have resistance to anything, what we're doing is we're locking it up. We're keeping it hidden. This year is all going to be about exposure. Okay, so throughout the whole rest of the year, now again, March to April is going to be a lot of things are going to be exposed. But I think that the whole year is going to really be a lot of exposure. And again, it's going to be through the release and the receive of the exposure that we're actually going to be able to change it. As we move beyond April, and the more we receive, the less you're triggered, the more you are in the space of allowance. The more space of you you're going to become, the more space of ease that's going to move through your life. The more space of receiving you have the ability to do, the greater change you're going to be able to make in your own life and in those around you. I'm not going to say this year is not going to be a painful year, because again, there is going to be things that are exposed that might feel really painful. There is going to be places inside of you that might feel really painful. This is going to be where it's really important to have the tools to clear it out, to shift it out, to give you space, having a lot of allowance and a lot of space for yourself and a lot of surrendering and letting you know that, life has been up till this point out of your control. Even before 2012, if we look at energetically before 2012, we were entrenched in the 3D reality. And as an entrenched being in the 3D reality, we were under a deep spell of programs. Okay, so when we shifted into 2012 and the earth started vibrating at that new frequency and vibration, and it started inviting us into looking at what's going on, allowing yourself to be released, waking up. It's time. The earth started whispering to us, it's time to wake up. It's time to let it go. Right? And so from 2012 until right now, we have been releasing ourselves from those 3D programs. Before 2012, you had very little choice in how your life showed up and what you had around you and in what was possible for you, because the programs that you had stored in your field told this reality how to create your life. And as you have been moving forward and through up until today, you have been consciously looking at what's going on and what's showing up and what programs you have, and if you desire to have them any longer or not. Things that are creating your pain, things that are stifling your growth, things that are stopping you from having what you truly desire are just energetic programs. Let's just feel that for a moment. And so now the earth is at that fully fit dimensional frequency, and it's saying, receive the new earth. Receive the new earth. In the receive of the new earth is more power of you, more presence of you, more space of you. In the new earth are new paradigms. We're moving from, we've been in the first, second, and third paradigm. That's where we were existing, or the dimension. Okay, that's where the earth was prior to 2012. Now, if we look at that, the first dimension has no light. None. No light. First, second, and third. Even the 3D had very, very, very little light fractals. Evil can exist within that. Okay, now we're moving into the 5D. The earth is fully 5D. It's only going to be a matter of time before every single embodied being has to be 5D. Now, they say it's going to take us this next 9-year cycle before we're fully 5D, if not even a little bit longer. Potentially, it could take us a little bit longer. Okay, so we're looking at a minimum of 9 years before every single being on this planet is 5D. But this cycle is going to be the cycle that everybody wakes up. And you listening to this call right now, you in this membership right now, you are on the forefront of being conscious and aware. You are a small percentage of the planet. Less than, I was just reading and feeling into it the other day I was reading an article and I was feeling into the different numbers, and it feels like less than 25% of us. Less than 25% of the world right now is truly actively diving in and doing the work and choosing this new space. And we're going to need all hands on deck this year. We're going to need all of you to be diving in, shifting, changing, releasing, letting go, choosing things for the new earth that are going to help in the creation of. This whole 9-year cycle is all going to be about moving into this oneness paradigm and creating the earth anew. Look at all of the systems we have in place right now. They're all falling. Look at the school system. Give me a break. In 9 years, the school system is going to be completely different. The school system is failing. It's falling. Government systems, health systems, all of it. It's all about to go down. And everything is going to have to be rebuilt anew. And this is what we're going to be coming across this year. So from about mid-April, once this new stuff is exposed, right? And most of you that are in this group and doing this work, you're already feeling that pull. You've been feeling that pull. It's going to be time for you to dive in and learn how to help others, right? You're already feeling it. If you're not already doing things right now, you're already feeling the pull of, I am going to be helping others wake up. So by about April, May time, it's going to be go time. It's going to be go time for us. You're going to have to shift it on. And whatever it is that you're feeling the pull to do, you're going to be able to have the space to do it come about May timeframe. May, June, July, over the summer, we're going to have an influx of amazing new possibilities, new energies, new systems put into place. Kind of the whole rest of the year. Again, there's going to be a lot of exposure still going on, but there's also going to be a lot of new energies that are going to be downloaded onto your body that are going to be telling you, okay, do this, go here, because the new earth has to be created. Okay, so there's every single system that has existed up till now, just think about it, it's all going to have to be rewrote. It's all going to have to be, there's going to be, we're going to be moving through here whole new paradigms of how to exist on this reality, how to exist here in this earth. Every single system that was in place is going to have to be rebuilt. And it's going to be rebuilt in a way that it's going to work for people in this reality. Many of the paradigms that we have in place right now that create suffering are going to move out. We're not going to, the suffering paradigm is ending. Abuse is ending. Now, I don't know that it's going to end next year. Again, we're in this new 9-year cycle. So we do have probably about 9 years for these systems to completely fall. But we will be rebuilding the earth. And potentially it's going to take the whole 9 years of putting these new systems into place. But what you are feeling that spark within your soul to start doing is calling you. So this year, moving forward, coming up to January, right now, number one thing you want to really be aware of is a trigger is a call to action. If you are still feeling triggered in any concept, and maybe you still have a lot, and that's okay. It's not a race. It's not, it's a deconstruction. Okay. It is a process. It's not something that happens overnight. You might spend this whole year still deconstructing yourself from within your triggers, and that's okay. The most important thing right now is that you are gentle, you have allowance, you're practicing surrender. You're giving yourself grace and space. And if you mess up, making sure that you're apologizing to yourself. I'm sorry I did it again. Gosh, what's it going to take to change this? It's time to end the bad and wrong within our own beings. It's time to stop making you wrong. It's time to stop solidifying the wrongness. It's understanding that you are not bad and wrong. You do not have all of this programming and all of these things happening in your life because of something you did. You have matrix programs that were instilled to control you. The looping in the wrongness controls you. Every time you go back to second guessing yourself or making yourself say, saying things to yourself like, oh gosh, I'm so stupid. Why did I say that? Or that was so awkward. Why did I do that? It's all of those little implants of information that keep you in control. And I know it's a process. It is a process to stop yourself from those self-defeating thoughts. It's a lot of clearing. It's a lot of entity stuff. It's a lot of, and this is why you're here. This is why you're here in the Conscious Empath membership, because together we're clearing that out. We're giving you new space. Everything, all of that is in all of that, 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 all of that. And everything, all of that is, can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes? And can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. Together we are helping the planet evolve. And isn't that really what you've always felt, that inner yearning to do? You've always had this like feeling inside of you, like you came here to do something. You just don't really know what it is yet. You always knew you were going to do something that was going to touch other people's lives. I was going to create something. It's go time. Now's the time. This is what we're doing. This is the space of us. We are here because we are different. We are full spectrum receivers of information. And as a full spectrum receiver of information, we are the change that this planet requires. Breathe that through. You are the change. And although this reality has found all kinds of inventive ways to make you bad and wrong, to make you feel bad about yourself, to make you feel self-conscious about what you know. Right now, we are choosing something different together. We are unlocking power within ourselves to be more of us than we have ever been as an embodied being on this planet. We are the ones breaking the spell. So as we continue on the year or next year, it's going to be full of amazing possibilities. It's going to be full of transformation on a level we have never had transformation before. And I know so many of you are thinking, gosh, I don't know how much more of this inner work I can do, right? And let me tell you, I get it. I know. And this is the year that will be easier as far as inner work goes than any year we've had before, because the 3D reality was still upholding a lot of those old form and structures. As we move through this new year, it has the new energy. Okay, so the bottom is falling out of a lot of these form and structures, so it shouldn't be as painful as it has in the past. And again, I'm not saying it's not going to come with any pain, because you still might have some, but it shouldn't be as painful as we have experienced in the past. Okay, it should be a little better and easier than we've had before. And you know, right now more than ever, it's so important to surround yourself with the tribe of people who are doing this same work. And I'm so grateful that you're here in the membership, and that we're going to have, I'm doing my very best to really create this frequency and vibration of feeling supported here in the membership. That's why I'm doing a weekly live call. I want you to have those conscious conversations. It's going to be really important to have conscious conversations. It's going to be really important to be talking and sharing and shifting and changing and looking at your stuff, receiving from others. All of it is going to be a really important contribution to your growth. I know it's hard when you maybe work a 9 to 5 or a Monday through Friday or even a regular job, and you're kind of surrounded by people who are still kind of walking the same path asleep. I know it's hard to really feel the space of the difference. That's why it's going to be so important to maintain the connection to consciousness and awareness, to make friends with each other, even though you might not be in the same state. It's going to be great to even find people that you can have conscious connection to and have conscious conversation with, even if it's Facebook messages or it's, a phone call a week or something. People that you can bond with and you can have that goal in mind to be healed. Evolution is happening regardless of what people are doing or choosing. So even those that you look around to that seem super duper asleep, they will eventually wake up. They will have to, because the earth will become fully fifth dimensional with all beings being fully fifth dimensional. The earth already is, but all the beings will eventually become fully fifth dimensional. They will have no other choice. So there will be people around you that wake up. And I'm going to go back to, many of us are becoming the space that is facilitating that change, even though people don't even know it. So it's an exciting time to be alive. This year is going to be an amazing year with new frequencies and vibrations. This new cycle has begun. Keep holding the space. I know sometimes it can feel really, oh gosh, just like, gosh, do I have to keep doing this? I get it. I know. But please know that things are changing rapidly now. The slow kind of dragging feeling we've been feeling for the last 9 years is shifted. Things are going to get easier and better. Keep going, keep holding the space, keep being allowance for you. The most important thing, again, triggers are a call to action, and 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 really looking at things as, if you look at a trigger as a call to action, understanding that it's not about making you wrong. It's about diving in. It's about giving yourself space and grace and allowance and forgiveness. And I know that when I say forgiveness, it feels like, well, why do I have to forgive myself if it was all programming? It's more about forgiveness as a whole. It's more about, for me, it's more about like forgiving, uh, I'm going to say that this reality for programming me in that way. It's forgiving kind of all of the energies that have hurt my soul. It's forgiving myself for even, I'm going to say, upholding. And I don't want to make myself, it's not a wrongness. It's like just again, it's just like a forgiveness. It's like a space of ease. So let's breathe that through for a moment here, and let's just let this kind of vortex out. And what can we receive right now to have more space of ease? And let's just receive. And let's do a full spectrum receive. Breathing in the new energies, knowing that you are on the cusp of amazingness, leaning into this amazing space of more of you. It's time. This year is going to be an amazing year. And the membership here, we're going to be doing all kinds of amazing, great things. We're pretty much having like a call a week. So you will be connecting to me and hearing from me. And remember, if you have a question about something in particular, if you can email it to me, I might pick on people here and there on the calls, but if you have something in particular you really want to address or talk about, email me back when you get the membership emails and let me know, hey, I want to address this. I want to talk about this. I want to, process through this. purpose, whatever it may be, so we can make sure that I get to that question or that energy that needs to be shifted. Again, this month's master call or master class, Clearing the Family Crap, is finished. It's there. And let me tell you what, you guys, this year in particular, this month, I should say, really a lot of my family stuff rearranged. And I don't know if you felt the same way, if you had a lot of family stuff rearranged as well. It was definitely an intense month of change. It's definitely been an interesting ride. So I hope that you also experience lots of change in your family stuff as well. I look forward to connecting to you in the future. I'm excited about this next year. January's masterclass is going to be Manifesting Miracles, which is exciting. So we are going to be doing, this is going to be a receive class. And we've been doing master classes on clearing, but I thought, in January, I want to do a lot of receives. It's going to be really a great month to really focus on receiving these new energies, receiving the new possibilities, and really opening ourselves up to manifesting miracles in our life. Why don't we deserve miracles? We are a miracle. We are walking miracles on this planet. So let's invoke some miracles into our life. So thank you so much for listening to me today. And I look forward to our connection here as the year continues on. And I am so grateful and thankful that you're here in the membership with me. I can't wait to see what we create next year. So thank you so much for listening to me today. And I will talk to y'all soon. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.